had an insane sales month this month, our best month ever. We pushed hard. We got like $60,000 in sales, and we finished up with our first $400,000 month.
Damn, dude. That's insane.
Are you scared to make the next step? Like, what's holding you back? You don't want the extra overhead? Get over it.
If you're living your life in fear, you will always have those safety nets, and you can only ride a bike on freaking training wheels for so long. You have to take those training wheels off and just roll. I bet you if you didn't go through what you're going through right now, you won't unlock what you're about to unlock down the line. And it's just all these freaking lessons and all these beatings, bro. It's like, good. You know, that shit happens because that's personal development showing up in your business.
When your company runs out of your basement, you don't have any stakes in the game. If I had a company in my basement and I want to close it down and I have no debt,
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Forward Thinking Podcast. Today, I got Mr. Spencer Heyward. Today, we are actually going on our third episode together. What we're going to do is a monthly kind of touch-up to have like an ongoing episode. And we can look back in a few years and look at each other's girls. So, dude, Spencer, bro. Last time you had the regular purple. Now you got the Hawaiian purple. The background's different because you got the shoes stolen. So, dude, catch me up. What's been going on with you, bro?
Oh man, what a wild month, man. So, our place got robbed, and we have cameras in our whole office. We're trying to go for a more modern office. We have, fancy glass throughout the office, and we got, cameras in every room to make sure that we have recordings just in case. And, 12:30 at night, a couple weeks ago, someone just jammed open our door and just ran in and just robbed us.
Nuts, dude. Yeah. So you had the wood door beside. So it's basically like it's not a shared office, but it's a shared kind of community space, right? So they had to go through like the common area in order to get to your specific office, right?
But so we're in like an office condo. We bought the property, and there is locks on those common areas. So they broke into the common area, and then they broke into the cancer rehabilitation center. They broke into the dentist office, and they broke into ours. Crazy.
Dude. Man, these guys freaking in one robbery. They got new pair of Jordans. They got the cure for cancer, and they got freaking brand new veneers from the dentist.
Oh, exactly.
You just gotta look for the freshest person out there in Salt Lake City, and you'll find the culprit.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, these guys are. I don't know, man. It was just crazy. I don't know, but they only stole our shoes. So I don't know. And then we also had.
So, dude, man, last time we spoke, you're like, oh, we're gonna kind of take it a little bit easier this year and focus on profit. And now you're like, man, I just hit a $400,000 month. So how are you pacing? Because last time we spoke, you said you had a $3.5 million goal. How are you pacing for that goal right now? What's the year sold at in the last 4 months?
So we're just under $1 million right now in sales. So at this rate, I know it sounds like if we're at 4 months and we've only done $1 million, that's on pace for $3 million. But our whole intentional budget is to be slow in the winter, $200,000 months, January, February, and March. And our goal for April was 275. So we hit our goal by, what is that, like 30% higher than original goal.
Insane.
With the same marketing budget too. We didn't up our marketing budget to get there, which that's the crazy part.
And that's the thing, dude. Sometimes it's just like, it's one of those, it's a game of just repetition, like just a game of consistency. Like it's going to be, not necessarily slow, but like average, huge spike, and then it's just going to continue like average, spike, dip, whatever. Like that's just the game of business, man. It's like you're going to have record months. You're also going to have freaking crappy months. And it's just literally just a game of consistency. Like who can show up the most, right? And who can show up the longest. But you were talking to me, you said Facebook leads have just been super high intent. So what have those been like for you?
Well, not just Facebook, man, but like recently, since you guys did some adjustments on our ads, our quality has been like every single lead that we go to right now is like full exterior, full interior, $25,000 commercial, H&M property, another H&M, these massive projects. We're bidding right now. We're bidding the Beehive House and the Lion House. And I don't know how many Mormons are listening to your podcast, but the Lion House and the Beehive House is the is it's the house where Brigham Young, the second prophet of the LDS Church, had like all 50 of his wives.
No way.
And it's like a historical monument here, and it's massive, and that's like probably $180,000-$200,000 bid right there. You know, you can't get that quality. That quality just doesn't jump overnight. You know, it's insane the quality, the difference. You know.
Love that, dude. So why did they call it the Bee House and the Lion House? Like, where do the names come from?
I think the Lion's House, if I remember correctly, it just has like a lion's head on it. So I think they call it the Lion's Head, the Lion House. I'm not sure why they call it the Beehive House, other than, you know, Beehive is like, beehives are very Utah-y. It's on I think it's on the state flag.
Beehives? Really?
Yeah.
Really? No way.
If I remember, now I'm going to be questioning it. Hang on. Let me check. Let me check. Let's see.
Dude, how do you like it? Full transparency. How do you like it in Salt Lake City?
I love Salt Lake City, man. The Beehive is on the front. It's the very main emblem for the state of Utah flag.
Interesting.
Yeah. Very into beehives here. There's Beehive Plumbing. There, a funny branding thing, not to get too off topic, but there's this company called Beehive Plumbing, and they have a beehive, and then they have a bunch of bees going around it.
Yeah.
But it looks like a shit.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm like, oh, look, it's shit plumbing. They're trying to make it look like a beehive, but it's funny. Anyway.
That's a good play.
No, I love Utah though, man. It's beautiful out here. Every day I wake up and I see the mountains. We got mountains really close by. You got to come out here sometime.
Yeah, dude. I'd love to if you weren't trying to freaking jab me for renting one of your Airbnbs, paying top dollar for a rental. Damn it.
I told you can have my guest bedroom for free. If you want a $500 a night rental, you got to pay $500 a night. All right, dude.
Just ask Lindsay if she wants a third spoon in the bed. I'll come cuddle up right beside you, Spence.
Yeah, you don't even need the guest bedroom. Oh yeah, I don't know about that.
So you own the commercial property. That's interesting because I've always heard. I personally don't own any property. I want to get into property, and we're actually looking for an office space. We're fully remote, but I believe, especially on the sales side, like having that culture and that energy is really, really important for having an office. And so we're at a point where we're looking for an office. Like I just posted on my story, looking for an office. Yeah, you own your office. Why do you own it instead of leasing it?
Well, I can do whatever the fuck I want with the office now.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I don't want to pay renters, you know. Even if I got a really good lease on this and I made this my own, at the end of the lease, I would just be paying someone else's mortgage or paying someone else monthly. And so we went on this hunt to grab it. We found quite a few properties. This one looked the most modern. It's in a great area, which is really good for SEO. And I mean, there are places for rent in the same building, and it costs about the same amount. Like this ends up costing us. The mortgage is $1,800 plus $340 in the HOA fees. So we're looking at $2,100 a month. And then
total for renting? Oh, sorry, for your mortgage?
For owning, including the HOA. Plus $50 for the gas, you know. I think the HOA includes the electricity. So it's like, we're looking at like, let's see. We're looking at like $2,200 a month to own this place.
Okay. And how long is the term?
7 years.
You're okay. Fixed for 7.
Yeah. And then we got to refinance.
But how long's the total term? 25?
Well, then I get a new term in 7 years. So it's a 7-year term.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But the interest is based on 30 years.
Okay. And before someone buys an office, like this is what my accountant was telling me, is like before you buy it, like go try it. You might freaking hate it. You know, you absolutely might hate working in an office. But he's like, and then you don't want to be stuck with like a couple $1 million property or whatever, and you got to freaking figure it out because property is insanely expensive up here in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Montreal's not so bad, but like Vancouver is ridiculous. But did you have like a demo? Like, did you rent an office before you pulled the trigger and bought it? Or did you jump right into it?
Well, there's two thought processes for this, right? So the first one is last year, if you look at our very first podcast, which is a couple years ago now. It would have been over a year ago now. You could see our basement. It was a basement room. It had the office manager next to me. I was on the phone calls. There was no place for anybody to drop off tools or have meetings or do interviews or do anything. And the company that we want to create is a company that has interviews and has a place to do that. A year ago, we were doing all of our interviews for contractors at a Mexican restaurant.
Nice. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Food. Yeah, might leave the interview a little gassy, but it's okay.
Well, we were spending a whole day at Cafe Rio. It's a little fake Mexican restaurant here. We got there before they even opened. They just opened the door for us so we could start working at 10 a.m. in their office. It's just like
in their office, like
not in their office, in their like foyer area.
Oh, okay.
But you can't that level of professionalism. You can't get that level of professionalism at Cafe Rio that you can here when you have all the, the core values on the wall, and you got the mission and the vision, and you got individual offices where I can do a podcast in here and I can have production in the next room and I can have 3 other people making calls in the other 3 rooms. You can't have that professionalism. So that's the first one. Second one is having quite a bit of real estate myself. Worst case scenario, I just rent it out. Like I could rent this for $2,200.
Yeah.
So there's no loss.
Or more.
Yeah. I mean, we're looking at about $250, $3 a square foot, and this is about 1,100 square feet. So, if you do the math, like if you did a math off 1,000 square feet, you're looking at $2,500 to $3,000 here a month in rent. So, like worst case scenario, we just rent it.
Damn, dude, $250 square foot, man. I was looking at places. This is in Canadian dollars, but I was looking at like places to rent, and in the 1,100-ish square foot section, it was. I want to say I was seeing somewhere that were like $9 a square foot, or like, yeah, it was pretty expensive. But
yeah, I mean maybe it's more expensive here. I don't know.
Yeah, but also our dollar's plastic, so it's like it's not as real as a U.S. dollar, But
no, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Okay, so you had it in a basement, so you already kind of experienced what it's like working with your team, and then. How do you find it now? Like the culture, the energy, the performance, like everybody being under one roof?
Well, efficiency went up for starters, right? Instead of every time you're going out, we make a lot of calls at our company. So instead of having to go out of the room or go into the other room, all of a sudden you can make calls in your own office. You don't have to think about other people as much, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's nice to have people come and drop off checks here. Eventually we're going to have a showroom. So we're going to have clients that are going to be able to come here. It's going to be really nice. But I mean, the office overall, like you can't have a sales meeting in a basement at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
You just can't. It's just, you could, but it wouldn't work well. You don't have a board, there's not any room in there. There was like no room, man. There was like, it was very hard to get like any room in there to do that. And so being able to have a weekly leadership meeting where you have a big old whiteboard that shows all of our metrics on the board, and then being able to go in and, you have that big meeting where you show that, and then having, TVs on the wall showing where you're at for sales, where you're at for, for production, where everything is here,
fully visible to everybody.
The subcontractors need more shirts. They stop by the office. We need more yard signs. They stop by the office. The vibe is, hey, this is a thriving company. And the biggest difference I would say is it doesn't feel temporary.
Mm.
When your company runs out of your basement, you don't have any stakes in the game. If I had a company in my basement and I want to close it down and I have no debt, I'll just close it. There was always that option. And so it just feels like you have an office that has this real expense and it's got real employees and it runs and it functions and everything. It's a big difference.
Yeah. So like in terms of like the buying process, you could fall anywhere on the scale right now. And I'm, in terms of getting an office, pulling the trigger on an actual office, I'm like an 8.5. Right. So now I'm at the point where I'm really doing research and really trying to get into it before I make a decision. And there's a few factors for me that like are limiting on pulling the trigger right now. Number one is our whole fulfillment team is remote in the sense of they're all across Canada. Yeah. Right. So we can't expect everybody to move. Right. One of our managers just bought the very first house in Vancouver, and it's like, that's a freaking huge deal, right? You can't be like, oh, sorry, you got to come into Montreal now, right? So the aspect of getting the fulfillment team, in terms of the sales team, we're all in Quebec, so that's easy. We have some of the fulfillment in Quebec, so it's like we'll have some people in there. But the freedom of remote is a big benefit of working with our team. But the energy, the culture, and all that, like you were saying, it's going to improve in person. Yeah. So I'm thinking of just getting an office and having it for a sales team. Whoever wants to come can come. And then if that attracts other members of the team to come, so be it. But one of the factors is, am I going to stay in Montreal? Yeah. You know, my girlfriend, Christina, she owns a hair salon and she's in a 5-year lease. She just finished her first year. So she's here for another 4 years, right? So she has to be here unless she gets to the point where she can outsource the fulfillment.
I mean, you can always break that lease though.
You could, exactly. You know, and I just got back from Arizona, and we're like, do we move to Arizona? Like, is that the play? Like, do we go just because tax wise too, it's 5% state, right? Yeah. Up here in Canada, we're like 40-something%.
Well, I mean, if you're going for taxes, you should go one with no tax, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, what is it? Florida has like 0% tax.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is Arizona's gorgeous, but it doesn't have water. Like there's no ocean, and I'm a big ocean guy, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's one of the factors, but it's just kind of the two limiting factors are, do I rent or do I buy? And am I staying in Montreal?
Yeah. Oh, that's a hard one, man. It's a hard one. I mean, you could argue that those are just you could argue that why not do both, right? Like you could buy a place or rent a place for a year and then you could still move. Mm-hmm. You don't need to be in the office every day, you know? I mean, I guess in that scenario, you'd be the only person that's living in the United States and you'd be the only person on your team in the US, right? Pretty much.
My sales team said they're like, if you go, we're going, you know?
Okay.
So they'd come too, right? Yeah. But then I know for a Canadian to go to the US, you have to invest a certain amount, but you buy property, you'll figure that out, whatever. But it's, there's a few things, you know, because tax just hit and I'm just like, dude, why the frick am I in Canada?
How many sales guys do you have on your team right now?
Right now, our sales team is 4.
4. And all 4 of them said they would move. It's all remote right now. You feel like they would have already moved.
Yeah, but they have family and they didn't have a reason to move.
I guess that's true. I don't know, man. There's a lot of good places you could live. I mean, so what are the options? Arizona and Florida. What other options are there?
Texas, Arizona, Florida are where I'm looking.
Texas has some beaches.
Does it?
Yeah. I think so.
Are you sure about that?
God damn it. We'll have to
high school geography. Kicking it again.
Yeah, like for real. Let's see. Does Texas have beaches?
I think it's pretty centralized. I don't know. I know it's close to. I'm pretty sure it's
Yes,
pretty
it does.
central.
It does.
It does.
Yeah. I'm on spot here, man. I'm on spot today. We've like fact checked like 3 things. I've been
Dude, I'm
here.
testing you, man. I'm testing you. I see the cocky Hawaiian shirt, bro. I'm gonna test you.
I see that. Yeah, let me take a look at the map. No, they're on the Gulf. Yeah, why did I even think that there wasn't? There is so much beach here, man. There's like all of
Bro, share screen. Let me see this, dude. I'm taking your word right here, dude. I need to see it. I need to live it.
Let's see. How do I share my screen here?
Bro, if you guys watch this on YouTube, am I the only one that didn't think there was beds of water? Like I know there's lakes and all that stuff in Texas, but is there?
You're gonna look like a moron now. So this is Texas right here. This is a big chunk.
Show me. You're not screen sharing. You're not screen sharing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now who's the moron?
Yeah. So this is all Texas right here.
Okay.
See this?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is all beach.
Ah.
So Louisiana is right here, and so a little bit of it. This is all Louisiana, but this is like. Let's see.
Oh, dude, I did know that. What's that place right on the water there? I forget where it is.
There's let's see. So it's Houston is right here. Let's see.
It's where all the celebrities live. I forget what it's called.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Charles Barkley was roasting it on one of the NBA like Sportsnet with Shaq.
Oh, I don't know.
I forget what it's called though, but it does look beautiful. Galveston.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have no idea. I'll never know this. So
yeah, dude, freaking Jason's gonna watch this and he's gonna kick us both out of the sales boot camp.
He's gonna be like, "Oh man, you got
Texas,
a bunch of morons."
Hey, real quick, before we get back into the video, if you are running a painting, an epoxy, or a concrete coating business and you're saying to yourself right now, Lucas, I am done playing it small. Lucas, I am hungry and I'm ready to grow and I'm ready to scale my business this year, then listen up. If you want my team and I to help you fix that, if you want more qualified leads into your sales pipeline, if you want more high intent appointments into your sales calendar, and if you want more high ticket jobs, shoot me a quick text at 602-833-5079, and I will personally reach out and set up a game plan to help you turn your yearly revenue into your monthly revenue and help you dominate and scale your business right now. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. I appreciate you tuning in, and I look forward to helping you scale your business this year. Let's go.
Texas is definitely a place I've looked at. I have some friends in Texas. We have a lot of clients in Texas. So Texas, Phoenix, or Florida, the weather, the people, the food, the culture, those check all the boxes. It's just, dude, man. Okay, so I'm gonna drill you. So there's a painting business right now that they're in a position that you were, right? Either they run it from a home office, or they're in a basement, or they're interviewing people out of a cafe.
Mm-hmm.
What did that do for you to make that switch, and when did you make that switch in terms of revenue?
So our switch was, let's see, we got it last year in middle of like June or July. So when it was the busiest season where we had the most money to put a good down payment on it. And we literally just couldn't handle it anymore. Like we had two project managers, an office, we had multiple people working in the office. My house was bursting at the seams, and my wife literally couldn't do anything in our house anymore because we had so many people coming in and out of the office all day. Like my door was just set to unlock at like 8 a.m. and then it just kept constantly working. It kept going nonstop. People were in and out of my house all day until like 6-7 o'clock at night. She had no place to stay.
And also security reasons, right? Like I'm sure you trust your team, but it's still your wife.
Yeah, no. And then you have to put in, like, we put security cameras in my whole inside of my house just for liability reasons to make sure that we don't have any problems, but then, that's just a big issue, it got to the point where we literally could not We could not get to the point where we wanted to be at anymore without spending money and time into an office.
Mm.
But there's some great ways to get an office. Like if you're a small painting company, what I did is I have a real estate agent who's bought in all my properties with me from the very beginning. 3 years ago, I went to his house and I said, we talked for like an hour. I started talking about my real estate goals and my vision for my future, as you do during every appointment, apparently. And I said, you be my real estate agent, I'll be your painter. We shook on it. We've painted his inside, his outside, his cabinets. We've done all of that. If you're in Utah, his name's Scott Staples. He's a great guy. And he's helped me buy 4 properties now. And what we did, though, is, so I knew this guy well. I knew he's a hard worker. I just said, hey, call every single office listed. There's not as commercial property doesn't go as frequently as residential property.
Mm-hmm.
So it's on the market for a lot longer. People are a little bit more willing to sell sometimes. A lot less of them have mortgages on them. So like there's a lot more flexibility on creative financing. And so I said, you reach out to every single one that's under $800,000 and ask them if they're willing to do seller financing. There was like 56 people he reached out to, and like 3 of them said they would. And then we didn't even have to get a mortgage on the place. We just, our mortgage is from the person we're buying it from.
No way.
He finances it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because he had it paid off. He had it paid off when we bought it. And so we just pay him. We pay him for 7 years.
Interesting. That's really cool. And what was the original listing price of the office?
Like it was a really good deal. I think it was like $300 or $400 grand, maybe.
400 grand. Okay. And then what did you end up closing the deal on? Dude, I know you you heckled them on the price, bro.
I think like it was either 340 or 360.
Okay. So you got him down good amount there.
But the key is we got the interest rate at 6%, and we got a 7-year seller financing. And in the industry, 7 years is insane. Normally it's 4 or 5 years is the max you can get.
Seller financing?
Yeah, if you do seller financing and you can get someone that will allow you to seller finance for 7 years, I mean, and we paid him like 15% down or something. Like, that's crazy.
Dang. Okay, 15% down. So you put 45-ish, 50 down?
Yeah, and then we did a bunch of renovations. In fact, that's why I got these things behind me right now. We're actually doing a full renovation right now.
How much have you spent on renos?
Recently, like this month?
In total.
Well, a lot of it's technology. So like computer screens, like each computer, like this monitor is 1,500, this one's 1,500. You know, the desk is 1,000. We bought TVs for every single room. We had to do some plumbing. We had to do some electrical. I don't know, probably like 20 grand.
20 grand. That's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, when you own it, you feel justified. If I didn't own this, I would not want to put in, like, we're about to go ahead. We're just going to spray the ceilings. We're going to put in, we're bringing an interior designer in to design this whole office to make it very swift hand painting, aesthetically pleasing, enjoyable. You know, we got rid of, the reason these are is because there's a bunch of old pieces of furniture we're all just getting rid of. It came with all the furniture. So the first year we didn't have to buy any furniture, like any desks and stuff.
So is it the same one that you use for your clients? I forget her name.
Yeah, it is.
Liz, yeah.
Amanda, yeah.
Oh, did I just say Liz?
But it is.
Oh, it is.
It is the same
Amanda,
person.
She's the blonde girl, right? That's been in like some of the ads.
Yes. Yeah, she's the blonde. The blonde with the bob cut. Bob, what is it? Bob haircut?
Bob cut, yeah.
Yeah, really that.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, she seems like a sweetheart. But okay, so seller finance, like 7 years, that's not bad. And then 400 down to about 350, 360, 45 to 50 down, and then 6% interest over 7 with HOA, so spending about 2,200 a month. That's really good, dude. That is really good.
It's all about finding the good deal, and you have to find the real estate agent that's willing to look for those deals.
Yeah.
You know, this is a property that had been vacant for like 3 years.
Wow.
Hadn't been used. It was a law. It was a law firm that had a bunch of property in this building. Didn't really need the money. Didn't really want to deal with the maintenance and the HOA fees that they weren't even using. So they're literally spending they're probably spending $500 a month just to keep it listed. So they had to pay the HOA, and then they had to pay, about $7,000 a year in just the property tax. So they're already spending $15,000 a year, and they're not getting any money back. They're not renting
for 3 years, $45,000. Your down payment just paid for that, and now they're just banking for the rest.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy. Too easy. And man, I was watching an Alex Hormozy video yesterday because he has a 36,000 square foot office. Yeah. And he owns a acquisition portfolio company. And the way he frames it is the way to buy anything you want is if there's a section of basically there's 4 categories of money, right? There's savings. Yeah. There's investments. There's what else? There's other people's money, so credit, loans, things like that. And then there is something called new money. Now, what new money essentially is if you can justify this expense, then it'll make you new money in the sense of, so he hosts events, right? He has his portfolio companies come down. He also hosts, seminars and things like that. And he's spending roughly $4 million a year on events, just events. Yeah. So justifiably speaking, if he can buy a place for $4 million or, if it's a 5-year term for less than $20 million, that's new money, right? He can justify it because it's saving on the long term. Yeah. And that's, dude, honestly, that's kind of my vision with PaintCon, bro, is down the line, I would love to have an office big enough to host people in there.
Well, you shouldn't do it in Canada then.
Valid point. Outside, here we come.
That'd be awesome. Let's see, because I think Andy Elliott has a pretty similar thing. They have a big office as well, and they host all their events there, right?
So the last one I went to, he didn't host it there just because there was like 1,300 people. So he hosted it at a local church. Yeah. But that was the event with David Goggins. So it was Elliot and David and Goggins. It was insane, dude. But typically they do host at their own place. And that works so well because people come in and they see their team running, they see everything happening, and then they want to be a part of it, right? The best way to feel culture is just to bring people into your environment. If you're kind of selling that culture or that energy and things like that, I mean, it's a huge, huge freaking point of leverage.
Well, and that's like, imagine you're a subcontractor, and imagine think about the two completely opposed viewpoints, right? You go in and you got these two people at a Cafe Rio, and they say, oh, here's your waiting spot. And it's just the next seat across the street and you're in a booth. Yeah. Does that scream professional? Does that scream longevity? Does that sing career? Like, is that what you like? I want to go in and say, oh, these guys, clearly this is going to be a long-term job for me, but you go in here and you have an onboarding class and you have an interview and you have a phone interview first, and they come in, they see you, we're redesigning, but even now you can see all of the first thing you see our mission, our vision, and our values. And that's who we are. And that's what we expect of our team, whether they be subcontractors or they be in-house employees. And it's just, you're going to get better quality too. So that's something that people don't think about. When you have an office and you actually have a well-crafted office, and you have a place where people can come in and they can sit down and interview, that's gonna feel different. It's gonna bring better talent.
100%. And what are you trying to do here? Like, what are you trying to build? Are you trying to build a job for someone where they just come in and that's it, or you're trying to build a career where they can actually grow and develop.
Yeah.
And what are you telling them by not having your own office, right? Are you like, you're not even investing in yourself. Why would they think that you're going to be investing into them?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So someone comes into your own office, it already sets the tone of like, this company's hungry to grow. They're not here, especially when they buy it, they're not renting, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, dude, but I want to build a business that's 50 years old. Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to just build, sell, build, sell, build, sell. That's not what I'm trying to do. I want to build and just freaking be a territory taker and just have people come in and build a business that's 50 years, you know? So
Yeah.
how do I attract people that want that same thing? How do I build a company that attracts the people that want that same thing? So investing in yourself is really the nitty gritty of it.
Well, it's like it's similar to what you did when you first started this company. You're risking your future. You're risking that you are cutting away the safety lines. There is no fallback anymore. There's no one there to catch you. If we this is on our personal names. We lose this office, it fucks my whole life up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't just go and give up this office. I can't just go and close down Swift Hand Painting. I'm in it for the long haul, and I knew that from the very beginning, but now everybody else can see that as well.
Exactly. And something I want everyone that's listening to reflect on is ask yourself, am I saving money or am I setting up safety nets for myself in case I fail? Right? So am I not making this investment? Am I not making this jump because I'm looking to save money and be as lean as possible? Or is it because I'm scared that it's not going to go the way we plan, or I'm scared I'm going to fail, or I'm scared I'm going to go bankrupt? And if you're living your life in fear, you will always have those safety nets, and you can only ride a bike on freaking training wheels for so long. You have to take those training wheels off and just roll.
Well, it's crazy. I know, you know how many people I know that have a shop but don't have an office manager or an office staff. It's the same concept, a little bit different. I know we've been talking about shops and everything and offices to begin, pretty much this whole time. But like, think about it. How, like, are you scared to make the next step? Like, what's holding you back? You don't want the extra overhead? Get the fuck over it.
Yeah, make some new money and cover that overhead. Like,
yeah,
it's man, for us, it's literally, I feel like it's just so simple in terms of the business space. If you want to make more, just do more of what's freaking working.
Yeah.
Like you want to make more, you just shoot me a text. Hey, Lucas, can we increase the ad spend? And you will consequently make more. You know what I mean? It's like, if you want to make more, the thing that's holding you back is your freaking mindset on it, that you have these leashes on yourself, right? And Andy Elliott was saying that in order to get results, it's knowledge plus performance minus the leashes. So if you have the knowledge, you know what needs to be done, you have the performance, you're able to act on it, and you minus the leashes, minus the limiting mindsets that are going on in your mind right now, that's how you're going to get results. So what are you not doing right now in your business that's preventing you from doing this? Are you afraid and does it make sense, or are you justifying the why of why it does not make sense?
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, bro. Do it scared.
I like that leash. I like that leashes things. And I don't know if I think both you and I have been go-getters. We're always pushing for that next step, but it is still a skill you need to develop over time as a business owner. A lot of people, they either make one mistake and it sets them back a little bit and they're no longer willing to make that jump. But making those leaps makes it easier to make the next leap. Hiring that office manager and it going well, or hiring a sales guy and it goes bad, but then you hire another one and it goes really well, it makes it a lot easier to make that next jump. And sometimes you slip and fall and you might be hanging on the edge of that cliff for a little bit, but you got to make the leap. And
exactly.
that you can't, it's not something you're born with. It's something you develop.
100%. And that's what they say about business, man, is business is literally personal development that just consequently you make money out of, right? Like, how much have you grown being a business owner compared to if you weren't, right? How much have you developed personally with all the lessons and learning and all those mistakes and hanging off those cliffs? Like, how much have you grown by making those mistakes running a business?
Oh man, it's that's insurmountable. It's literally it would be impossible to even measure.
Exactly. Like, dude, man, I am so freaking grateful that I started this business. And everybody here, like, if you're having a slow time, or April didn't go the way you thought, or 2025 is not going the way you thought, or you're getting sued or whatever, it's just like, I bet you if you didn't go through what you're going through right now, you won't unlock what you're about to unlock down the line. And it's just all these freaking lessons and all these beatings, bro. It's like, good. You know, that shit happens because that's personal development showing up in your business.
Yeah.
Gosh, I get that. Dude, I freaking love business so much, bro. It fires me up, man. Like, I just feel so blessed every day, dude. Like, waking up and getting to say, like, I do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's some flexibility going into it, and there's like so much satisfaction in just building and growing, and you just can't get it from anywhere else. You can try to get it for a little bit, maybe on a jet ski or something, on a boat, but
that dies down.
It dies down, and then all of a sudden you're left with, well, okay, what now?
Exactly. You know? Exactly. So, dude, talk to me about these next steps that you're taking. So you just had a record-breaking month, 400,000. Massive freaking congrats to you, dude. When we first met in person at the PCA, we were obviously, you were a client before, but when we first met, I remember you said your first year of business, you did 500,000, or 2023, you did 500,000, right?
Our first year in business, we did $250,000.
There you go.
Then it was 550, 1.1, 2.3 was 2.3 was last year.
So you just did 80% of your complete second year in business. You did 175% of your first year in business in one single month.
Yeah, we did our whole first year. We did almost double our first year in under a month.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah, our second year we did almost that too. I mean, I think we might accidentally hit. We might hit $500,000 month this year. I know
you will. Oh, I know you will, bro. I know you will. I don't have a shadow of doubt in my mind.
Which is wild to think about. You know, pretty crazy. That's big numbers right there.
That's huge numbers, dude. That's huge numbers, man. And honestly, it's just like, I know how much you develop yourself. You go to every single event. You hang out with the right people. You have the right group of friends. It's just, I knew it's just a matter of time before you start freaking scaling like crazy. But dude, this time last year, you said in our FMM chat, you said 160,000 this time last year. Now you just did 400,000. You almost tripled in a year.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. Yeah,
that's freaking nuts, bro.
It's insane.
What's the next step for you? Because obviously we're on a win, right? What is the next step? There's the $500,000 month right around the corner. But what's the next step for you in terms of the professional and in terms of the personal?
Well, we of course have we're going to be working on our budget, maintaining budget. We're going to be developing a really solid leadership team here, to where I can slowly not scale back, but just be a little bit less involved in the day-to-day operations here at Swift Hand. We'll probably start doing a little bit more coaching as well, with my coaching clients, maybe getting that going a little bit more, and we'll see it. We'll see how that goes, you know.
Nice, dude. So is it one-to-one coaching courses? What's that look like?
I don't want to start off. There's a lot of companies that have done the coaching classes, already. And I don't really find pleasure in those. I don't really enjoy it. So this would probably be mostly one-to-one, basically buying a lot of my knowledge and time, and just making sure that, helping people on a one-to-one basis is what I really find joy in. And now that we're pretty set up here and the company's just continue to skyrocket, I really love to spend a little more time on that. So that's definitely something we're going to be working on over the course of the year.
Hell yeah, dude. Love that. And what about on the personal?
Well, I've been going to the gym every day. I'm getting
dude,
shape.
I saw that you were ripping some squats with, was it JP on the squat?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
My sales guy he's a killer gym guy. Loves the gym, and he used to be a personal trainer. So we've been going basically every day. This is my 5th day in a row, just killing the workouts. I'm just trying to, I'm not saying I'm in bad shape, but I could definitely be in better shape. So I'm working on that. And 2025 is the year that I'm like in good shape. I'm really prioritizing it. I'm putting in 2 hours a day, which seems like a small amount, but that's like 20, 15 hours a week, basically, just into the gym. That's most people. Some people put only 15 hours a week into their job.
Yeah, dude. Man, I've been going every single day too. And honestly, I wake up some mornings and I'm like, I don't want to go. But honestly, it's my girlfriend, Christina, dude. She pushes me like nobody else, dude. Like, it's wow, bro. I'm so blessed to have a partner like that. But, dude, it's freaking, how incredible is it to go to the gym and you feel like on fire after, man? Like, you literally feel like anything that's thrown at you, you're like, yeah, fucking bring it on. Like, I could take this.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's not. Yeah. Well,
And
the funny thing
the
is,
way I think about it too, dude, is like, you'll never be mad that you went to the gym, but you will be mad that you didn't go to the gym, and that'll show up in your life.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a couple people here at our company that I say, hey, if you want to keep working here, you have to go to the gym.
Dude, man, remember I was telling you, like, if you invest in your team and you want them to build a career and things like this. So we just rolled out for our whole team something called like annual stipends, right? So we have some money that's contributed, I think it's like $800 per year that's contributed towards any specific course or training or certifications they want that's going to enhance their job. Obviously, I told them like, hey, like, don't take a cooking course. That's not going to help you, But like,
probably not.
Like our account managers or our media buyers or our leadership team or our sales team, like if there's a course they want to take that's going to help them, succeed and show up a little bit better, like freaking by all means, I want to support that. And what we also did was $400 for health and wellness. So gym membership, physical wellness training, things like that. Like I want to invest in them because I want to empower them to, learn more, always be learning, grow, like everything, bro. I'm huge on development. So I want my team to be a part of that too. And I'll give each and every single one of them as much money they spend on it just because like I want them to develop.
That's good. I like that. We've there's a local gym here that gives us a discount. I've been considering giving that to my whole team, but
dude, do it, bro. Like, you know what that's going to mean is like, if they see that you're investing in them, they're going to take it seriously and they won't take it for granted, and it's also going to help obviously with retention, right? Like I told my team, my goal is to give them like set the new standard for what it's like to work in a company. And I want to provide everything that they ever imagine of what they can earn in a company. And I want to do that through Forward Media and show them like what it really means to be a great company. So yeah, bro, get your whole team some freaking gym memberships, bro. Like you can work out a deal, I'm sure, but even if you don't, like what's $400 a year for each person if they're feeling better and they're showing up better? Yeah,
they're working out. Yeah, they're working harder. They're feeling healthier. I mean, that right there, you'll get an ROI on that almost immediately.
Dude, exactly.
My problem is all the people that I think would go already have it, so they're already paying for it. And I'm like,
I get you, dude. I get you. But still, bro, like tell them like, hey, next time it renews, I'm gonna cover it for you.
Yeah.
You know what that's gonna mean for them? Like that's something if they have it, they're passionate about it. You know what that's gonna mean for them if you offer that?
It's true. It's true. Yeah. No, but and going back to my point earlier, like there's some people at our company that like they feel so much better that they go to the gym that we can tell when they don't. So we're like, hey, if you want to work here, you have to go to the gym first because it can make that much of a difference, So
exactly,
it's good. Like, not everybody is has that big of a difference, but some people do.
Dude, camera just shut off. So we'll wrap it up there. But I absolutely agree, dude. If you can get your team moving and like just get yourself moving first, right? In order to be a great leader, you yourself have to find greatness. So, dude, get yourself moving, and then you're gonna inspire and bring the energy to your team. They'll see how Spencer shows up, and they'll be like, okay, I want that same type of energy, and they'll start doing it too. And then the minute they start doing it, other people will start doing it, and it's just gonna be this positive feedback loop of energy, right? Which is what we want. So, dude, my camera shut off, overheated. Got to get a new camera. Talking about investing in myself. So.
Yeah, what example are you setting here, Lucas?
Crazy.
What example are you setting to to the people that watch this and to your employees and to everybody in the world? What example are you setting?
Dude, you know what, man? I'm gonna switch to my iPhone just to get this rallied off in time. But no, man, I do need one. I have a Sony, bro. Sonys are notorious for overheating, so I don't know what I got to do, either a new camera or freaking get someone to stand beside it and just blow cold air on it, but I got to figure it out. But Dude, Spence, appreciate you, bro. Thanks for showing up, man. Thanks for jumping on the podcast. Everyone, thank you for listening. Hope you guys got some value. And like I said at the middle of the call, man, like whatever you're facing right now, do it scared. I promise you it's going to work out.
See you guys later.
See you guys.